Welcome back, friends. Today I'll give you a little information about how we do uh, predictions in general. Now, let us say we have going to have a look at the Nifty for this week, right? Beginning November 24. A very important week, I would say. There are many ways in which I can do the analysis. And let me tell you what many people try and do. Some people look at technicals. They look at how many contracts FIIs have bought or sold, how many the clients have bought, they sold, right? What has been the addition, and how much on, say, Friday, how much was on Thursday, what is the general trend, what is that all indicating, and what are the resistance zones, the support zones. All this is important. But in my opinion, that is itself not sufficient to give you a perfect view of the markets. There is another way to look at it. You look at the scenario in general, the fundamentals which are there at certain points of time. For example, right now we are looking at the probability of a US-India trade deal, and the entire enthusiasm has come up because of that. But we saw on Friday, last 1 hour, we saw the rupee lose good amount. It crossed 89.4 to a dollar, which is an all-time low for the rupee. So there are forex and other considerations also which have come into play. They keep coming into play. Now, the next level is 90 rupees a dollar, and that's a very important psychological level. If the rupee were to go to as low as, let's say, 90.2, 90.3. Once it crosses 90, I think that will be a big psychological blow to the market. Thirdly, the FIIs, when they are investing in India, then they are going to take the money out in conversion of the Indian currency back into the greenback. So if the Indian currency is falling, and the currency in which they have invested their money is going to fall, naturally, when they convert it back to the home currency, they will be losing value. This is another important consideration. The fourth consideration is what you can see in the world around you. So in this case, and there are algorithms which are based on taking all these into considerations. So we look at it, the probability of a Federal Reserve rate cut because of one Fed official speaking up. On Friday, you saw the entire American market go up. So cut in interest rates is normally very market friendly measure, and people are expecting a Fed rate cut with a higher probability in December meeting. We also have the UK budget coming on the 26th, and they have a lot of deficit. So they are hoping that Keir Starmer and the finance minister is going to raise taxes in this budget. If they do, then that's going to lead to opposition. But at least there will be an attempt to cut the deficit. If they do not raise taxes, then that's also a problem. Then the deficit is going to go up further. So this budget, UK budget, is a very crucial one. This is another parameter. You look at the world around you, you see. And then there is the sixth way is to look at astrological events, right? And you find so many astrologers right now talking about doomsday scenario, that all the planets are retrograde, or most of them, at least visible ones, right? That so many planets retrograde has never happened before, and you will see that even Mercury is turned retrograde, and Saturn is retrograde, and Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter is fallen. All the planets are retrograde, so that's not very good for the world economy. If you go to see that during retrograde measure, also many planets, they give good results to the stock markets, if you were to look at it from a pure astrological perspective. Besides, all of them are not retrograde at this point of time. I think if you may go back and check, I think Saturn is turning direct in a few days. So it's not, it's a holistic view. You don't take just one view and try to just look at charts and what FII contracts are there, they are not there. That's not the right way. You have to have a holistic view, and that's what makes these algorithms very complex, expensive to make, to maintain, to keep feeding the data, right? It's a tough job. Now, one thing that definitely comes to my mind, which I would like to point out in this particular video, is that the Tejas crash that took place in Dubai on Friday, a lot of things happened in that last 1 hour, 2:30 to 3:30. I think the astrologers should see there was something really wrong. As far as I can see, I think Moon and Mars were very close. That's another thing. Keep it with yourself, don't tell anyone. At least not the astrologers. The unfortunate fatal crash of the Tejas fighter jet at the Dubai Air Show has thrown a rather shadow on a concerted drive to push Indian arms exports to the world, with the indigenous aircraft being showcased as an example of homegrown technology. I think this has come at a very wrong time. The defense exports stand at 23,600 crores, as India has set its sights on 50,000 crores a year by 2029. The Tejas, which has emerged from a rather troubled history, filled with delays and technological challenges, to a success story with orders for 180 advanced versions being placed by the Indian Air Force. It was being demonstrated to potential international buyers at the Dubai Air Show when the crash took place. It's very sad. It's come at a very, very sad time. It's sad for the country. It's sad for HAL, whose stock price has done pretty well, phenomenally well. So defense exports take a little bit of a hit because of that. The inquiry ordered by the Air Force will go into the reasons behind the crash, but its image has suffered a dent given that the unfortunate incident took in place in front of thousands of spectators. Many of them were potential buyers among the countries that India was hoping to pitch the fighter to were Egypt, Armenia, and nations in Southeast Asia. The Tejas has come from a very humble background. It has got a good safety record till now, with just one fighter loss prior to this, but due to an engine failure. And given its affordable price tag, an Indian promise to share technology, integrate a variety of weapons and sensors to the platform, and the fact that at least 220 of them would be in service in the coming years, the Tejas has a strong chance of success among the smaller nations which were seeking to embrace air power. So, and after decades of shying from it, India made a drastic shift post 2014 to emerge as a weapons exporter, with the government pushing manufacturers to look for global markets. And this, I think, I will give a great credit to Pradhan Mantri ji, Narendra Modi ji. This export push for the defense arms. We have been dependent completely on the West for these fighters, the planes, the weapons. And slowly and steadily, India has developed its own indigenous capability. And Tejas has been one of the poster boys for Indian defense. And it's going down at the wrong time. At the Dubai Air Show, I think, casts a little bit of a gloom over the defense stocks. And let's see how they react on Monday. That's another thing that you should keep in mind. As I explained to you, the rupee will be very closely watched as the markets open. And I believe that the 90 level is a very important psychological level if the rupee were to breach that level. And this is also directly related to the delay in the announcement of the US-India bilateral trade treaty. The further delay takes place, the rupee keeps getting jitters. Don't forget the fact that the tariffs which are in place, 50% by the United States, is impacting a lot of the Indian exporters. And maybe the depreciation of the rupee is a way to help them out. But that's not very good for the country in general, because the consumers have to face, the country has to face higher oil prices. If it does not pass them to the consumers, yet you will find that the deficit goes up, which throws the fisc out of equation. So all these factors will come into play. And as far as I can see, the markets, as they get ready to open this week. I think the gift nifty currently indicating over 100 points plus, but I see some nervousness in the markets because of this spate of the Indian rupee depreciation, also the Tejas aircraft, this crash that has taken place in the Dubai Air Show on Friday. These are some of the factors that can come to play. So we will start our expectations for the early part of the week on a little weak note. The question that you may be wanting to ask me is, what about the all-time highs? Even I had predicted, and I think came pretty close, right? We're just a few, maybe 30 points away from the all-time high. Yes, there were some reasons why we pulled back a little bit, but I think we came pretty close. But Hindi में एक कहावत है, देर हुआ दुरुस्त हुआ, little late, but it will be strong when it happens. And do stay tuned. I will let you know when we are nearing it, when the trade deal is about to come in. I think I discussed a lot of factors in this particular thing. I did not restrict only to technicals, and that's not the right way to look at the markets as as we analyze the next week. मैंने एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल इवेंट्स पे ही सिर्फ फोकस नहीं किया, कुछ बता दिए। शनि भाई डायरेक्ट हो रहे हैं जी, हाँ, तो वो सब रेट्रोग्रेड नहीं है प्लैनेट जो लोग डरा रहे हैं, और बहुत सारे यूट्यूब में लोग देख रहे हैं, मेरी टीम के मेंबर्स बता रहे हैं भाई ये सब रेट्रोग्रेड हो गए, सब पीछे चल रहे हैं, और वो महाभारत जैसा युद्ध होने वाला है, ये होने वाला है भाई जो है। हाँ, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर 2 हो सकता है किस वक्त पे, लेकिन वो भी मेरे ख्याल से कुछ दूर है। ठीक है, तो हाँ, नेगेटिव फैक्टर्स हैं, रुपये का जैसे मैंने बताया, तेजस एयरक्राफ्ट का जैसे मैंने बताया, और दूसरा और कुछ और फैक्टर्स भी आ रहे हैं जो कि प्ले कर सकते हैं स्पॉइल स्पोर्ट। लेकिन जैसे कि अभी यूक्रेन और रशिया के बीच में जो पीस टॉक्स डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जी ने रखे हैं थर्सडे का डेडलाइन, तो यूक्रेन हैज टू डिसाइड बाय देन, वो टेरिटरी देना है उनको रशिया को, और साथ में उनको मिलेगा सुख शांति, रशिया की वॉर में पीस। 4 दिन बचे हैं, यूरोपियन लीडर्स के साथ ज़ेलेंस्की साहब की बातचीत हो रही है, अगर वो फ्रक्टिफाई नहीं होता ये और एक प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो ये बहुत ही निर्णायक हफ्ता रहेगा मार्केट्स के लिए, और हमने तो आपको मैंने आज क्लूज दे दिए हैं, ये अपने बड़ा सा वीडियो भी बनाया है। एंड यस, प्लीज डू ज्वाइन अवर प्रीमियम प्लस, जो आपको पूरा हफ्ते भर का प्रेडिक्शन एडवांस में देता है, चांस नहीं लीजिए, एंड हम अच्छे से आपको बता देंगे कि किस तरह से हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशंस है, कौन से दिन में प्लस माइनस वीकनेस कुछ दिखाई देने की कुछ चांसेस हैं स्टार्ट जब होगा। हालांकि गिफ्ट निफ्टी इस वक्त 100 पॉइंट्स ऊपर दिखा रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ चिन्ह हैं जो इरप्ट होकर आपको टाइम टू टाइम परेशान कर सकते हैं। संपर्क करने का नंबर व्हाट्सएप करें 9820861044। नमस्ते, जय हिंद, जय भारत।